My name is Rachel Orey, and I'm director of the Elections Project here at the Bipartisan Policy Center. I've been at BPC for about 5 years, and what a 5 years it has been. We have seen a global pandemic, record breaking voter turnout, natural disasters, atrophying public trust, extensive litigation, threats and harassment, and attempts at interference from foreign adversaries. And yet, with every new challenge, the election community has rallied to respond in turn, to meet the moment with grit and enthusiasm. Election officials get the job done, and thanks to 4 years of diligent preparation, they administered a secure, accessible, and trustworthy election. Election officials are strappy, resilient, determined, and strong in the face of adversity. But they shouldn't have to be. They shouldn't have to do the jobs of multiple people. They shouldn't have to operate under dire resource constraints. They shouldn't have to sacrifice their own well being for the well being of their country. Because this election was well run, but it wasn't perfect, and it came at a cost. As we'll learn in our next panel, the stressors on the election workforce worsened this year. Turnover has been increasing over time, and demands on election officials are only likely to continue increasing from here. Because threats to election officials and election infrastructure aren't over, but are part of a new normal. For while trust in election outcomes has improved, fissures remain, and election officials remain under pressure to demonstrate the transparency and safeguards that are in place. Voting behavior has changed drastically over the last 2 decades and will continue to shift, and physical and cybersecurity remain a very real challenge, especially as threats modernize and evolve. All of these challenges are underscored by chronic underfunding of our election system, in which more pressure and more expectation get put on the same people and the same systems without reliable support. Let's be clear. The 2024 election was well run thanks to the tireless dedication and preparation of election officials and election supporting organizations. That was thanks to a groundswell of investment in recent years from public, private, and philanthropic sources into the people and organizations supporting election administration. So as we gather today, I encourage you to ask the question, what will it take for that investment to be sustained? What will it take for the momentum of the last 4 years to not only continue, but grow? Because the challenges facing election administration are not new and they're not gone. We must rise to the occasion to meet today's challenges with consistent and reliable funding, competitive compensation levels for election officials, strong training, new recruitment programs, and enhanced physical and cybersecurity measures. The goal of BPC's Election Summit is to bring the field together to debrief the election and chart a shared course forward. Today, we have a variety of formats and programming designed to make that happen, with lots of breaks and a long lunch to give you time to connect with your colleagues and peers. Here's what you can expect throughout the day. Before each panel, we will have about a 7-minute lightning talk from 2 different experts in the field on a topic related to the panel. Those lightning talks are designed to ground the panel in shared evidence and a common understanding. After the lightning talks, we'll have a panel that dives more deeply into the topic at hand. Lightning talks and panels will happen here in the main room. And for those who really like getting into the weeds, we also have breakout sessions with panelists in which you can participate in a facilitated discussion and hear more about a specific topic. Breakout sessions happen upstairs at the same time as the lightning talks and panels, so you get to choose where you want to go. We'll remind you of breakout session topics and locations before and after each panel. Now I'm going to welcome our host, Scott Warren, a fellow at the SNF Agora Institute here at Johns Hopkins University, to welcome you to the space.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Rachel. It's fantastic to be working with the Bipartisan Policy Center on this convening. I'm Scott Warren. I'm with the SNF Agora Institute at Johns Hopkins. I'm just here to welcome you all to this space. Some of you might have been at this space in its previous iteration as the museum. This is now the Bloomberg Hopkins Center, been around for about a year and a half now. And this is the type of things that we want to do in this space. Bring people together to have the types of conversations that we'll be having today. So when Rachel and Kim and all the fantastic folks at the Bipartisan Policy Center approached us and said, we'd love to have this type of convening reflecting on the elections, we were, well, one, a little apprehensive to have this in December of 2024. But I think that turned out to be perfect timing. And so just really excited to have you all here today. I'll talk a little bit more later about some of the work that the Agora Institute's been doing with R Street on working with conservatives around trust in elections. But please make yourselves at home here. Hopefully this is a space that you come back to often. And we're just incredibly thrilled to be partnering with the great folks at the Bipartisan Policy Center.
I'm now going to welcome to the stage the Honorable Margaret Spellings, President and CEO of the Bipartisan Policy Center, to give opening remarks.
She's taking my remarks with her. All right. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for your leadership in the 5 years that you've been here. Probably that feels like 5,000. Really, it's been fantastic. You're such a tremendous leader. And thank you, Scott, for your hospitality today. I had the privilege of participating in one of your convenings in Austin, and they're doing great work, and it's going to take all of us to achieve the things that Rachel mentioned. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Election Summit. At the Bipartisan Policy Center, along with our advocacy organization, BPC Action, something that makes our organization really unique, we develop and promote and work to enact policy solutions that benefit all Americans. Easy to say, hard to do. What distinguishes us from others is an unwavering commitment to bipartisanship and proven success in advancing policies that actually become law. One of the best examples is our work to improve election administration across the country. This year, tens of thousands of election officials and volunteer poll workers operated under immense pressure. They worked tirelessly to make sure that every eligible voter who wanted to cast a ballot was able to, and they ensured ballots were counted accurately and timely and in keeping with the laws in their states. The demands on our election workforce continue to grow. And yet last month, election administrators delivered for the American people once again, conducting secure, accessible, and trustworthy elections all across our nation. Although the 2024 election is over, the work to improve election administration goes on, and that's why we're here. Today, you'll hear from local leaders who will delve into their experiences from the 2024 cycle, consider evolving threats, and look toward the future for election policy. Later this morning, we're honored to host a conversation with Senator Amy Klobuchar and former Senator Roy Blunt, whose invaluable insights and leadership will help guide next steps to maintaining our democracy. For over 15 years, BPC has worked with federal and state legislators, election officials, and other stakeholders like you to improve our elections. We've made great progress together, but there's more to do to cultivate a sustainable and well-trained elections workforce, fill funding gaps, and continue to make our elections secure. You all know that tackling these challenges requires a comprehensive, collaborative, and bipartisan approach. So thank you for being here to reflect on lessons learned in 2024 and to help chart a path forward to continue this critical work in the years to come. Thank you very much.